This is a screen record for Raptor maps, and in this report you see right here, this is the Ag Credit Bank building on Ridge, close to 96. I'm going to show you a few things here. As you zoom out on the map, you can see 96 highway. These pins here can be removed. These pins are all the different photos that were taken. So you can just click here and remove the pins. This is an orthomosaic thermal image that is glued together with all the radiometric thermal images that were taken. You can toggle back and forth between the satellite image or the street image. When you go satellite image, you can then also go full screen, and then you can toggle around in this manner, reverting back to this screen. You can take a look at the building plans, the orthomosaic thermal image, and then also an RGB image that is put together with an orthomosaic as well. These can be then controlled with the opacity. Drag this over here. You can see these are the different layers. So the building plan is on top, but the opacity is 0. If I drag this over to the right, the building plan will show up on top. You can drag it to the left a little bit, and it becomes a little less clear, fades in, or you can remove it. You can also then change the temperature range here in the radiometric thermal image. It will change the actual signatures to some extent and what's going to show up. And these are the temperatures. Another thing that you can do then is remove the thermal layer, and then you have just the RGB thermal, or the RGB layer, the orthomosaic. Again, we can go full scale, and we can zoom around here. Remember that this is an image of about 250 photos glued together, so we can get pretty close. And very accurate measurements as well. Now another nice feature here is that we can take this and look at the actual camera individual photos, and it will place them into a virtual organization kind of level. And let me revert back to the street level. And then I can go in full screen, and I can see where these photos belong in space. They're organized in that manner. So the bottom layer is still the accurate RGB orthomosaic. The second layer is a thermal layer that is just RGB, color coded. Then this highest layer is radiometric thermal photos. So each one of these top layer photos up here, each one of these top layer photos has pixel thermal data attached to it. So each pixel in these photos, I can tell the actual temperature. If I can grab one of these photos and analyze that photo. So we can go down to this level. I can pick this photo, and it will bring it up, and I can go through and go pixel by pixel and analyze the range and look for specific thermal discrepancies and signatures. So it's retrieving this photo at this point in time. And at this point in time, I can also change the color palette. And I can also change the temperature to Fahrenheit. I can make various annotations using the tools. And I can plot that area, and it will tell me the temperature range of that area. You can label it. And I can get rid of it. So then you go back to map view, and again it will show me all the photos that are taken that I have access to. So this is that area that I selected. The average temperature is 29 degrees Celsius, the minimum and a maximum. I guess I just didn't wait long enough for it to show up when I had selected that area. But again, I can go back and forth here and select street view, satellite view, and I can remove the pins and select the actual photos. And go full screen. In this particular building, that's kind of important because the as you can tell in this screenshot, the building is not yet visible from the satellite images. So it's important that I have the orthomosaic of the building, and then I can layer it and bring that layer visible, and you can actually then see, remember we can see the orthomosaic of the building, we can also then see the building plans if we want, and we can also see the thermal orthomosaic if so desired. So then we can go back at any time and take a look at some of the other reports that we have generated. Just go to the view reports, and some of the other reports we don't have as much information generated. We don't have as many layers because we just haven't requested those layers from Raptor Maps. But this is a radiometric thermal mission that we flew for Crown Uptown, downtown. And again, we can go with the full screen. These are all the images that we took. We can fly around. We can go back and actually label get rid of the pins and bring the actual camera shots in and take a look at what that looks like. So these are all the photos. These, again, each one of these photos has a pixel by pixel thermal data available to the client. This is the facade of Crown Uptown. We found some thermal signatures there. But then we can also go in and get out of the street view mode and go satellite mode. go full screen. And zoom in. Again, these are the images that were taken, and they're floating there at the correct altitude. These are the photos of the facade. So whatever your preference, if you want to actually see the satellite image, or if you're more comfortable with the street view level. If you request, then you can get the orthomosaic of that placed on top of the building. You can also get a building plan, a PDF, or CAD drawing put in there. You can also get the orthomosaic of the thermal, all glued together and color coded. So then you can, in a sense, you can take all of these images right here and glue them together into one orthomosaic, change the palette colors, and look for thermal signatures in that way. The other report that we might have available here, yeah, we did the Wichita West Y. We have a couple of reports here. Again, these were not developed with as many layers as the ag credit building, but it shows you again the capacity of Raptor maps to put these thermal images in a organized fashion. Hundreds of photos. It allows the client to have a visual sense of where these photos are and locate these photos, and remember, each one of these photos has an incredible amount of thermal data attached to it. So you can find the photo you're looking for, the area of the building that you're looking for very quickly, and then you get very valuable information. For instance, these are portions of the Y roof where we found potential water retention. We can go in further for the next layer that we had. And we can also activate the satellite if we want, and exit the street view and go back full screen. We can download this in a file that's easily emailable, small file that you can get initial access to on Google Earth. We can also share this report through Raptor Maps so the client has this exact same access. And all this is fairly accessible once we fly a mission.